I like my science fiction like I like my wine. Full-bodied, with lots of red liquid. And you're going to get that from Tribes of Europa. This is written and produced and basically created by Philip Koch, the guy behind The Dark, also a German science fiction series, and it landed on Netflix on the 19th of February. And I was a little bit concerned about this, to be completely honest with you, because although The Dark apparently is amazing, or just The Dark, sorry, or just Dark, no, The Dark is apparently very good. I kind of got bored of it about 7 or 8 episodes in because I hated the characters. There was not one redeeming person. Everyone had a backstory that they were hidden, and yeah, I didn't like any of them. So I was worried that this Tribes of Europe would be a very similar situation. Luckily it wasn't. I bloody loved it, and I'll tell you why now. Tribes of Europa takes place in 2074 and follows 3 siblings, basically. You've got the sister, Liv, older brother, Keanu, and the youngest, Elger. They are living in a very tranquil tribe, basically. I'll give a quick backstory, actually. Something terrible happens. December, the Black something or other, they have a name for it. Kind of sounds like Black Friday, but December, when the world ends. And it happens about 30 years before when the series takes place in 2074. We're not exactly sure what happens. We're not sure if it's man-made, like climate change, or if it came from up there, you know, whether it's a meteorite or aliens. We kind of get hints throughout the series. And yeah, that's the least I say about that, obviously spoiler territory. And it starts with us looking at this tribe who are basically living in the forest. They sort of live in a sort of symbiotic relationship with the land, so they're not arseholes. You can see they do have some tech from the old days, but they kind of run around with bows and arrows and spears. They are out sort of hunting when a ship shoots across the skies and crash lands. And when I say ship, I don't mean a sort of Boeing 747. I mean something that kind of looks like a space ship, or at least a technology that is way advanced. And we kind of find out that there are different tribes, and each tribe has a different level of advancement. You've got the Black Crows, who are basically assholes. They are into slavery, etc. And these are the main bad guys in it. They kind of remind me of Klingons in a certain way, but humans in this case. They wear a lot of red, so not really red, but they wear a lot of black, hence the Black Crows. And they're very much into slavery, and everyone progresses in that sort of society by murdering the person above them and taking them over, or taking their roles over. They're also very militant and, like I say, into this whole slavery thing. Then you have, as I mentioned, the guys living out in the forest. I actually forget their name because you kind of really don't care about them. They kind of get massacred in the first half of the first episode, so they're gone. Fuck them. And that aircraft that I told you about that crash lands leaves a box behind. This is where things start getting interesting. In the first, like I say, 20 minutes of the first episode, this box or this cube seems to be very advanced technology and bestows the person who's carrying it with a certain level of technology, I suppose. And like I said, I don't want to go too much into that. So the tribes are all searching for this this cube. It is picked up by one of the younger siblings, as I mentioned to you, Elger, and he runs off with it while his 2 older siblings basically get caught, or at least one of them gets caught. The other one manages to flee as well. So they all split up, basically, okay? And the series, I suppose, follows Elger as he tries to get the cube to a certain place that he has to get to. Like I said, I'm not going to give you too much away. And I really thoroughly enjoyed it. As I mentioned, Elger's got a great story arc because he's the youngest in the family. He bumps into this guy called Moses, who is hysterical. He's like the sort of comic relief, because this is a very serious show. It's very violent as well. So you get the comic relief from Moses mainly, and Elger, as they try and get to where they need to get to. And it is quite funny. I really enjoy the banter that comes out of Moses. He's absolutely phenomenal in this. Then you've got the older brother. Now, the older brother gets kidnapped and dragged into the city of the Black Crows, and Keanu is a big, ripped guy. Good God, man. When he took his top off, I think he's probably obligated to take his top off at least 3 times each episode because it happens periodically. He's a ripped lad. Wow. Anyway, he gets sort of taken under the wing, excuse the pun, of the woman in charge, and that's Vivara. Vivara is the lady in charge, also second in charge, and she takes a liking to him because he's a very attractive guy, but not just because he's attractive, but because he's also not willing to bow down to her, at least not unless she forces him. So he's got his own, strong personality, and she wants to break him. And that's basically what you think the relationship is between them. But you kind of find out later why she also, likes him. And again, that's veering into into sort of spoiler territory. So that's his main arc. He is, like I said, being caught by her. He's been tortured by her. He's made her plaything. And that goes along. Then you've got the sister in the group too. And the sister in the group is great. She is left behind in the first episode. Again, she is separated from everybody. And she kind of gets picked up by the coalition. I forget the name of the group. It's kind of like the UN, I suppose. And they have their whole agenda, their own agenda going on too. They're trying to bring the tribes together, at least to take over tribes, to save the world from these, Black Crow guys who are admittedly a bunch of assholes. The thing is that each of these groups, including the so-called coalition, have their own agenda. They want to do things their certain way, and they will do things their certain way. And that's what I like about this, because it really is a separate tribe for each faction. They have their own beliefs. They have their own ways of doing things, their own ways of approaching situations. And that is really well done in this. I think the writing is pretty much on point. It's good. It's very, very convincing, the characters. As I mentioned briefly, it's bloody as hell. I mean, in the first 20 minutes, you literally see a guy, okay, you don't see it, but a guy has his balls cut off because he challenges the bad girl. And she literally comes and eviscerates his, sack kind of thing. And he did. So yes, like I say, there's a lot of violence in this, and it's quite graphic in certain situations and certain circumstances, and I liked it. I think it worked really well for this. I think on the sort of negative side, as I mentioned earlier, the comic relief in this is quite jarring, because you go from a very heavy and quite hectic, almost sadistic, actually not almost, it is sadistic, to this jarring sort of like comic relief slapstick stuff, which I liked, because you kind of needed to sit back and breathe in order to appreciate the darker side of things. So I think that even though it was jarring for me, it was definitely needed. On the negative side of things, there are only 6 episodes in this damn thing. 6 episodes. Netflix. 6 episodes. So it comes to an end, and it is a massive cliffhanger. And I'm really hoping they're going to pick this up for a second season, because you kind of get hooked. I won't lie. It took about the first half of the first episode for me to actually get interested and invested in the characters, because I was so like, what the hell's going on? And once you sort of figure it out, you really do get invested in them. And like I say, as it was getting good, or better than good actually, really good, it suddenly stopped. And I didn't check to see, I need to start doing this, because I keep walking into this trap where I think a show is only going to be 8 or 10 episodes long. It's 16 episodes long, looking at you. A lot of Korean shows looking at you. And then suddenly there's this one. And it has 6 episodes. It's like, what the fuck? Seriously? And I mean, a lot of money obviously went into making this, because the budget's pretty good. The sets are really nice. I mean, it's not Star Wars level and stuff like that, but it's pretty damn well done. And yeah, like I say, I was quite surprised that there were only 6 episodes in this. It's sitting on a really good percentage on Rotten Tomatoes at the moment, though IMDb is a little bit harsh on the 6.7, I think it is. And I can see, I mean, this is an 8 out of 10 to me, because I love the whole post-apocalyptic thing. I like mixing it up with a new technology that you're not sure is human or is it alien, and something coming from the east. Again, that's going into spoilers territory. So yeah, I highly recommend watching this. As I mentioned, it is a German series, like Dark is, so you're going to have subtitles there. But again, just sort of looking at the subtitle thing, they mix English with French and German. It's mainly German, okay? But because you have a whole group of Europa, European people, there's a lot of different languages used. So it's not just German, but the majority, again, as I say, is German. And I like that. I like that mixture. One moment you've got someone speaking English, and then use English as like the universal language, and then they say, oh, but do you speak German? And they go, yes. Or, no, that would be Russian, wouldn't it? But they say yes. And then they would go into German. So it really is kind of convincing in that way. So yeah, the world building in this is really, really great. Without telling you too much about what happened in the past, you certainly get a feeling for what the factions are now, or at least in 2074. So yeah, this is a good, solid show. And I know I'm waxing lyrical right now, but I really, really enjoyed it. So go out and watch it. Tell me what you think. Catch you guys later.